There we go. Can you hear me? Check 1, 2. Let's see. Can I hear myself? Don't think I can. Because I don't think there's speakers on this. Who's got any? Okay. Can you hear me? Yes, yes. Okay, showing that you can. Hey.
No, I really thought you were him. So I was like, oh, like this.
No, this isn't me. No, not a chiropractor right now. No, I've been told that a lot. I think I could.
8 years.
I think they have like a speed program, like a Zoom program or something, where you can actually do it in a short amount of time. Like certain chiropractic colleges do that. So I think it's like 4 or 6 years you can do it. Like if you actually buckle down. Right.
But it's a lot of anatomy.
She's asking that. Yeah, I know. I didn't like anatomy. I like it, but I had a bad teacher. So what's up? Clarence Phillips. He should be up there.
Yeah,
Oh, no. He's in the restroom.
but it's his last one, so you could just tell him.
Yeah, just be like, hey, he'll be out. You know, don't tell him where he's at, but he'll be out in a minute.
It's the last one.
Oh, for the night?
I'm trying to be productive.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Gotcha.
Phillips. See Brian. Hey man. Good deal. Any plans for Labor Day weekend? No, nothing. Have a good time, right? Five the other ones, but
You're gonna see me do that later.
yeah, that's a pretty adjusted in a long time. The butter thing in. And every weekend, okay? Get some good rest and recharge in. We'll see you in a bit, all right, man?
Appreciate you.
Time to do one.
Yeah. Going up upstairs.
So
Is it working?
it shows it on there. So
Okay, perfect.
you got it on there.
And
As you can see here,
I'm gonna give this to you,
of course, it's recording and stuff. So
so that way you can use my phone to
be able to just sit here and
yeah. Well, that so you can just record me. You can be my cameraman today.
sure.
You know mind?
Yeah, I don't care.
Um,
So how do you just go ahead and stick it on there now? And
yeah.
Yeah,
The
go
only
ahead.
thing is you can't really rest it on here and not be holding on to it,
Right.
because what happens is that
Like the calibration and stuff.
yeah, this handle spins and then it loses its calibration. So you just gotta be careful.
So if I need to sit it down, just do it. Hit the button, turn it off, then sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Don't do it while it's on.
what you can do is you can hold this black button right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold this black button, and then it goes limp, and then you can set it down. And then to turn it back on, you just
Hold
push
the button.
the black button again. Oops, and then it'll straighten that back out.
Okay.
And then this is just
The
based
left and right turns.
on left and right, and then this is up and down to level the camera out.
Okay. And right here, send it out, and that should send it to them.
Yeah, send it now. Send it now.
I mean, it was about 550, so I was
Two
like,
people have a good view, and then you can let them enter. Admit. Yep.
you want me to hear it through there, though?
You can hear. You
I
can
can
hear
hear
me.
you. I'm just saying.
Mr. Smith.
Hey, Dr. Rob, how you doing?
Hey. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So we've got a few people that are still kind of filtering in. So once everyone gets filtered in, we'll go ahead and get started here in a few minutes. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
So stand by. Stand by.
I can't hear.
Miss Sandy, we haven't started yet, so you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I want to find out about the phone roller. Yes, House of Rock.
I'm on a bang today.
Hey guys, can anyone
Hey,
hear me
can you-
okay?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Good. Glad everyone can hear me. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a few minutes. We're kind of giving some of those people that may be getting on here at the last minute, just give them a couple extra minutes to get on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Awesome. Be right with you.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Turn around a little bit.
Why you do that?
Got the camera. That's the camera up there.
Okay.
Get us centered.
Okay. You don't normally have it that high. What are you doing? Hmm?
Hmm.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Yeah, you were.
Come on.
You was doing something. What time is it?
5 after 6.
10 on the computer. I mean, on my game. Feedback?
Mhm.
Huh? That's Crest Street.
Mhm.
Off my phone.
Is it? That's good, Mark. Yeah, it's all.
All right. Can everyone hear me?
My mom.
Thumbs up. Nice.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Good. I'm glad. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to welcome everyone to our inaugural virtual workshop. This is the first one we've ever done. Obviously, considering the times, we have to adapt and do what we can with what we've got. And so this is what we're trying to do today. Okay. So for those of you, I'm sure most of you already know, we've signed up for. This is the foam rolling workshop. What the heck is foam rolling? Everyone, I'm sure, has at least heard of foam rolling before. Yes. And so, especially I know for Dr. O and I, these last few weeks, we've had a lot of people come up to questions with us as far as like, should I do foam rolling? What should I foam roll? And we may have even recommended people to try foam rolling. Hey, you should give this a shot because you benefit from something like this. Unfortunately, some of us might not really know what foam rolling is. And so hopefully today is going to answer a lot of the basic questions. I'm going to be the first one to tell you I am no expert at foam rolling. I am still a chiropractor. I specialize in the spine, obviously, but when it comes to foam rolling and other things like this, we do have some knowledge and some information I think really benefit you guys. Okay. So what exactly is a foam roller, right? Foam roller is pretty much what it says it is. It's literally a foam roll. Okay. Now a foam roller, this is just a basic one. We bought this one off of Amazon. You can really find a foam roller pretty much anywhere. Walmart, any sporting goods store like Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy, Target. You can find them at like TJ Maxx even. You can find a foam roller just about anywhere. Okay, like I said, we got this one just off of Amazon. Now the foam rollers come in different sizes. This is maybe more of a standard size here. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer. Sometimes it can be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner. There's even some foam rollers that are hollow and the foam is just on the outside. It's a hard plastic circle with the foam just on the outside. There's even some that have like textures to them, like little nubs all the way around. Again, this is just your standard foam roller. It's pretty smooth all the way around. It's pretty dense, pretty firm. However, like I said, this is just the standard one right here, okay? Now, how does a foam roller work, okay? Foam roller works based on a concept that's known as myofascial release, okay? Now, what fascia is there's essentially connective tissue between where your muscles are and where your skin lies. In between that area is what's called fascia. And that's what allows the muscles and the skin to kind of move back and forth, but also allows your muscles not to slip and slide all over the place. So it kind of holds them into place, but it allows it to have some motion to it. Now, sometimes as we go through life, sometimes we have repetitive actions. We may have injuries like a trip or a fall and we land on our butt or on our leg or our arm. Trauma, stuff like that can happen. And a lot of those repetitive injuries, like I was saying, can cause either the fascia to build up or to have a lot of the fascia to become restricted. So then there's not as much movement, okay? When there's not as much movement there, that's when that muscle can't move right, and people start to experience a lot of pain. That muscle has to work harder to move past the fascia because the fascia keeps it from moving, and because it's working harder, it gets tense, it gets tight, and it can cause a lot of not only just pain, but a lot of other issues as well. Tightness, cramping. It can even cause sometimes some nerve issues because the tightness from the muscles might be clamping down on a nerve. And so when it comes to these myofascial release, the goal is to find those tight areas of the fascia. And by rolling them, it allows them to break them up So that way it can now move and your body can function at a better level. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? Good. Good, good, good. So the goal of the foam rolling is to release that fascia and allow those muscles to move properly. So what I'm going to do for you guys now, I'm going to show you guys some great setups that you can do. Some great foam rolling techniques. And I'm going to kind of give you a little, I guess, warning or footnote here. I'm going to be doing this on the ground, okay? And that's usually the typical recommendation, is that you're supposed to use a foam roller on the ground using your own body weight. However, I know that there are some of us that's just not going to happen. That's not possible. So I'm going to show you guys some other techniques too that are going to show you guys how you can still use a foam roller effectively and maybe get to the point where you can start working on the ground, but you can start maybe in your chair or leaning up against the wall or something like that. I'm going to show that to you guys tonight, okay? I'm going to show you guys the basic ones that I find most people have the most benefit from. You can use a foam roller on literally any muscle in your entire body, your arm, your shoulder, your back. You can use it on your legs, your feet even. Any muscle in your entire body, because your entire body is covered in fascia, you can use the foam roller, okay? But I'm going to show you guys just the most basic ones, the ones that cause, I think, in my opinion, the most issues that people experience. And I think it's going to be really beneficial for you guys when we show you this. So sit tight for just a sec. I'm going to have Steven, my cameraman, come on over. He's gonna hold the camera for us, and that way you guys can get a great view of what's going on. Here he is. All right, go ahead and flip the camera around.
Like this way?
Yep, so you can see now. All right, so the first one I want to show you guys is the piriformis. Does anybody know what the piriformis is? So there's some of us that maybe do, some of us that maybe don't. The piriformis is a muscle. I'm going to try and do my best to illustrate this here. It's a muscle that attaches to the tailbone, okay? And it goes all the way across to the outside to the hip, pretty much. So right across the butt cheek, essentially. Now, it's not the whole butt cheek here, but there's a muscle in there that starts here at the tailbone and goes all the way across, okay? That's known as your piriformis. Now, when that gets really tense and tight, there's a big nerve, actually the largest nerve in your body, that runs right down that. That's known as your sciatic nerve. Everyone's heard of sciatica. I know that. And so a lot of times people come to us and be like, Dr. Rob, I've got some really bad sciatica, but their low back looks great. There's not any damage to the low back. The adjustment helped a little bit, but they're still having some sciatica issues. Chances are it's that piriformis muscle that's overactive, that's tight, that has some myofascial buildup that needs to be broken up. So I'm going to show you right now a great myofascial release with the foam roller for your piriformis, okay? Now when you use the foam roller, you're always going to want to start by putting the foam roller on the ground and then using your body on top of that, okay? If you guys have a foam roller with you at home, you're more than welcome to participate. I'm going to do my best to kind of show you guys, get you guys a good angle so you guys can see what's going on. So again, your piriformis is part of your butt cheek essentially. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit on the foam roller and you can use your hands to stabilize yourself. So you can see I'm leaning back, I'm sitting on the foam roller, my legs are extended, they're supporting my lower body, and my hands are supporting my upper body. Now, the best way to do it is you can sit here and just roll back and forth, but chances are you're just going to be rolling on your tailbone. The best thing to do to get that piriformis very well is to actually turn about a 45-degree angle, so that way you're resting on the side of your butt cheek. And I'm telling you right now, my piriformis doesn't hurt, but it's a little sensitive just even right now laying on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to straighten this bottom leg here, let that pretty much go limp, okay? This leg here is going to support my hips. This leg here is going to support my hips. And again, my arms are supporting my upper body. So what's great about this with your legs and your arms like this is if it's too much, I can always lift my hips up. So that way I'm not putting so much pressure on there. Obviously, the more pressure you put, harder it's going to be, the more uncomfortable it's going to feel. Okay? Now, there's a way to do a foam roller properly. What you want to do is once you find that muscle, and you'll know, you'll be able to feel it, you want to start by doing nice and slow back and forth rolls, as you can see here. Okay? Nice and long, slow back and forth rolls. And what that does is it allows you to find certain areas of that muscle that might be more tender than others. For me, down here, down low, it feels like I'm sitting on a chair. Once I start to move up here, right about there, that's where the most uncomfortable spot is for me. So what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to start kind of going back and forth, rolling my hips this way instead of back and forth. They call that sort of waving, if you will. So you're going to wave your hips back and forth. And what you do, again, all this needs to be nice and slow, nice and controlled. What you want to do is you want to go back and forth until you kind of start to feel a little relief in that area. You'll start to feel, oh, this isn't as so bad now. I've been doing this, just for about 15 seconds or so, and I can already feel it getting easier. It's not as painful. It's not as uncomfortable. And so you do that for probably, 30 seconds or so until it feels not as uncomfortable. And then you can go back to the rolling again. Go back to the rolling again. Find that area. Go back and forth. Find that area that's a little uncomfortable, right about there. And again, then you do the wave. Back and forth, rolling back and forth. And so that's essentially the basics of using a foam roller. As far as using the Piriformis goes, this is the best way to do it. So what you do is you'll probably spend about 1 to 2 minutes on one side. Once that's done, you're then going to switch to the other side. Okay? This leg comes up, bottom leg goes straight, maybe slightly bent. And again, you start going back and forth, nice and slow, until you find that uncomfortable spot. And then once you find that uncomfortable spot right about there, then you kind of do the wave. Back and forth. Back and forth. Now that's for the Piriformis, okay? There's another one that's very common that I get from people, and that's from the IT band. That's just short for the iliotibial band. The IT band starts at the hip and goes all the way down to the knee. So it spans almost the entire length of your thigh on the outside. That right there can become very tense and tight. A lot of times when we see this issue, people have a lot of knee problems, maybe the outside of the calf down into the ankle, sometimes the hip even. But that can get very tight and cause a lot of issues as well. So how you're going to do that, just like I was using with the Piriformis, what you're going to do is you're going to start down low, and you can see I'm supporting my upper body with my hands. My lower body, I'm using the opposite leg that I'm foam rolling. So I'm foam rolling, in this case, my right leg. My left leg is going to support my hips. So what you'll do is you'll start on the outside and you'll just roll it up the IT band. Now this one, for some people, can be very, very sensitive. Even for me right now, I can feel it. I can really feel it. And right about there, again, I'm feeling a lot of pressure right there, a lot of uncomfortability. So from there, you can roll back and forth. I can feel a big knot in there. Okay, that knot is from all of that fascia in between your muscles and your skin that's built up. It's built up from walking, from running, from the sports I used to play in high school. All of that is being built up, and now it's stuck in that area. And so now I'm going to roll that out for just a few minutes. So again, once you find that area, I'm going to kind of show you a different angle here now. Once you find that, you're going to roll it along this way. Once you find that area, essentially you're going to roll your hips back and forth. It's going to cause the foam roller to go like this. So work back and forth, and then up and down. And you'll do that on both sides. Whenever you foam roll, if you can foam roll both sides, it's just going to keep everything nice and even in your body. So you always want to try and do both sides to keep everything nice and even. Okay? Couple more. Next one is going to be your calves. Okay? Calves can be a real problem issue too, especially for people who have plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendon issues. This is going to be amazing for you guys. So what you want to do is just like the IT band, you're going to rest your calf on there. And you can do one of two ways on here, okay? First thing you can do is you can start at the bottom here, and you can use your opposite leg to support your hips to lift up, okay? You can lift your hips up like this and roll back and forth. Now this one's pretty easy to do, pretty simple, because all I'm doing is essentially just moving my hips back and forth, allowing the weight of my leg to roll back and forth on the foam roller, okay? So that's pretty simple to do right there. Another method for those who might be need maybe a little more intensity, a little more pressure, you can take that opposite leg, cross it, and then roll back and forth. That one adds a lot more pressure because now you have the entire weight of your hips rolling on that calf muscle. And that's a lot more pressure. If that's too much, that's fine. Just go back to this. Again, you want to find those areas that get nice and tender, nice and tough, and then roll, wave back and forth. Great. Now, last couple I'm going to show you. Last couple I'm going to show you actually going to be for your back. Your lower, your middle, and your upper back. So what you can do, you're going to start here in the lower back. Hold on to the hips. You're going to lean over it. You're not going to arch your back all the way like this. That's not what I want. That's too much. What you're going to do, kind of like you're doing a crunch, and you're going to sit up, and you're going to roll back and forth on it. Again, nice and controlled movements. You're not going fast. It's not about speed here. Nice and controlled movements. So you find those areas that are tight, and then you wave. Just like that. If you want to move up your back, you just slide it up a little bit and walk those legs down. You want to try and bring your arms across so that way it brings your shoulder blades out of play. And you work on just the muscles around the spine. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Again, I'm not arching my back like this. If anything, I'm doing more of a sit-up, arching and hold my abs together, doing a sit-up. And then you go even lower on your upper back here. This one, because your upper back tends to round more up like this, your hips have to come higher, so that way you get that upper back without just sliding off, right? You have to make sure while you're on it, you bring those hips up to get that upper back. This is great for that tight back, those muscles that get overactive in between the shoulder blades. This helps immensely with that. Okay? Now, like I said, you can roll any muscle in your body. Your lats, your arms, any muscle you can roll, okay? Those are the basic ones right now that I want to show you guys. All right? Now I'm going to show you guys how to do those without laying on the ground. Because there's some that just, I know there's people out there that just can't do that yet. You work up to it, just can't do it yet. So, one thing you can do is you can come over to a chair. And if you need, you can even use a second chair for some stability. What you can do is you can sit on that foam roller in the chair. Best to find a flat chair. This chair is a little rounded. Find a flat chair, might be better. If you need to use a chair for stability, that's good. To get that, to get the piriformis like I was telling you about, what you do is you're gonna cross your leg, lean off to the side, and roll. Doesn't have to be much. And again, you'll be able to feel it. It's a very tough spot there. You'll be able to feel that. And that's a good place to start. So that way you don't have to sit on the ground. You still have a lot of weight on there. So you'll be able to get a good foam roll from that. And then go back and forth. Okay. That's a great way to start on the piriformis there. Another option you can do is up against the wall. You need to go up against the wall. I would do it at about a 45-degree angle, and then you can lean up against the wall and start like that. Try to lean up against this as much as you can to get some pressure. And then just all you're doing is like little baby squats while trying to keep this leg relaxed, because if you engage that too much, it's going to tighten up your butt cheek muscle. You're not going to get a good piriformis roll. You want to try and relax this leg a little bit. Just doing little baby squats back and forth. That's it. This is how you're going to do for the leg too. Up against the wall, go up and go down. Notice how I have my foot kind of back, just very, very minimal pressure on this leg, up against the wall, and you're just going to kind of do, like, again, a half squat. With these ones, you're not going to have as much, I guess I want to say, range. You're not going to move this block here. You're not going to be able to go all the way down, because then you're doing essentially a pistol squat, just a one-legged squat. That's too much. So what you do is you'll find just a small area and just go back and forth. Just focus on this area. Then focus on this area. Move it down a little bit, and then focus on that area. Move down a little more, focus on the bottom. Move it up, focus on the top. This one's only going to give you a smaller range, but you're not laying on the ground, okay? That's going to be a great place to start there. All right? And even the back. Lean up. Do that crunch, and then back and forth. Back and forth, up and down. And then you just move it up as you need. Okay? You need more pressure, your legs go further out. Less pressure, legs come in. Those are all really, really great places to start using the foam roller. Now, what's great about the foam roller is they're pretty cheap. You can probably find a foam roller for about $10 or $15 is all. So I highly, highly recommend you guys get one of these, especially for those who are just kind of can't seem to get that little bit nagging stuff at the end there. This is going to make a big difference. For those athletes out there, great warm-up and a great cool-down. So I highly recommend that for athletes, bodybuilders, runners, whatever it is. It's a great warm-up and it's a great cool-down, okay? Actually, there's some research that shows that helps improve recovery, helps reduce soreness. So this is a powerful, powerful tool. So I think that really covers all the basics that I want to go over with you. I mean, I try not to throw too much at you. I know there's a lot of information, but I try not to throw too much at you guys. I want to give you guys, it's a good base to where you can start. There's a lot of information on YouTube, a lot of stuff you can look up if you want more information, or come ask Dr. Ori. As for right now, we'll jump into the Q&A. If we have any questions, happy to answer them. Okay, guys? Go ahead. If you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Dr. Rob, this is Mr. Cerny. Hey, do you have any of those exercises like on a sheet or anything with an explanation?
Like a printout?
Yes. Yes.
Not yet, but I'm happy to do that for you. Actually, to be honest with you, I think we might have one. I'll have to dig it up, though. I remember Dr. O handed one out not too long ago. I'll see if I can dig that up.
We do have one that has pictures,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have any narrative or text description. If you prefer to have something with a text description, we can definitely get that made up for you, no problems.
Also, this session has been recorded, so you guys will be able to look that up and go back and just check if you want to look at it again. Anyone else have any questions? I promise you, if you're thinking it, someone else is. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Very good information, Dr. Rob.
Hey.
No
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.
No question. That was some pretty good information.
Yeah, like I said, good place to start for some people, especially if you've never been introduced to a foam roller. It's a great place to start and work up from there.
All right. Thank you.
Do you have an amount of time that you recommend doing the exercises, or how often?
Amount of time? I would say probably.
Yeah,
I would probably say start out at least about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and they say usually up to about 20 minutes. Obviously, that's not going to be per region, right? So if you're doing that piriformis, I would only recommend maybe spending 1 or 2 minutes at most per muscle. So left piriformis, then right piriformis, 1 to 2 minutes each. IT band, 1 to 2 minutes each IT band. So all in all, you'll be spending maybe, up anywhere from as low as 5 up to 20 minutes at most. That's really all you need. You don't need to spend 5 minutes on each muscle. That'd be too much.
So Dr. Rob, do you recommend doing both sides or just the side that you feel injured on?
I would recommend doing both just to kind of keep things even. Because typically what happens if you are kind of hurting on one side, you're going to compensate on the other. When you're starting to overwork that side, it can catch up once the other side starts feeling well. So I'd always recommend to do both just to keep you even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Rob,
Yes.
what about using it on your neck?
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it on the neck because that's what the dental roll is for, first and foremost. Also, the amount of pressure that you'd be putting on the neck, it would probably be a little too much. Even if you did it up against the wall, it'd probably be just a little too much. I would recommend sticking with the dental roll for the neck.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Anyone else?
How many times per week, Dr. Rob, do you recommend?
I would recommend probably if you want to see some good results from it, I would recommend probably at least 3 times a week. They say up to 5 to 6 times a week would be fine as well. Make sure you get 1 day in there for some rest and recovery, but I would say at least 3 times a week to get some true benefit from it. If you did it once or twice a week, you might get a little bit, but just like using your dental roll, if you use your dental roll 3 times a week versus once or twice, you're going to get better results, right?
Right. Okay, thanks.
Hey, not a problem. Anyone else?
Are there different densities to the foam roller?
Are there different densities to foam roller? Typically, they all come in relatively the same densities. They're all going to be fairly firm, because if it's too soft, then you're just rolling a pillow on your leg, But there are certainly different types of foam. Like I said, the one that we have here, this is the most common that you'll find. It's just a hard, dense foam. This is the most common that you'll find when you go look for one. But there are the ones, like I said, that's like a plastic tube, and then it just has the foam on the outside. That foam might be a little bit softer. There's some that have those essentially like dots. That's like a textured foam roller. I don't know if that's one. I wouldn't say it's going to be any better. Some people might prefer that one instead of this one. Maybe give it a shot if you really want. I will say, let me give you one more thing on the foam roller. There are essentially handheld rollers. They're not foam, but they're handheld. They look like more or less like a rolling pin for like baking. They look like that with 2 handles on either side and then some wheels on the middle. And for that, that's something that you can use to just use your hands to roll your legs or to roll your piriformis or to roll your calves. Those are available too. The only problem with those is the most amount of pressure you can get is the amount of pressure you're able to put on it. So if you're not super strong and you're trying to push down, you might not get as much force as you would by laying on the foam roller or using the foam roller up against the wall. So maybe that for some of you guys, that might be a great place to start though. Start out nice and easy and then work up to using the foam roller as well.
Good job.
Awesome. Any other questions, guys? Awesome. Well, listen, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask Dr. O or I. We're happy to help out. We really, really appreciate you guys coming to our first ever virtual workshop. I think it was a great success. I'm glad you guys were here. This has been recorded. We're going to try and put up on our Facebook page or somewhere where you guys will be able to look at it. At the very least, we'll probably put it on our YouTube page where you guys can check it out and always refer back to it whenever you need. Really appreciate you guys jumping in on this. For those who couldn't make it, we'll make the next one. Hopefully we'll be able to do another one fairly soon here. Really appreciate you guys. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day, and we'll see y'all soon, all right?
Thanks, Dr. Rob. Bye,
Thank you,
Stephen.
guys.
Hey, good to see you.
Weekend.
Looking forward to seeing you next couple weeks or so.
Yeah. See you next week.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Karen. Bye-bye.
All right.